Well, it's Tuesday Wrestling, and you know what that means. So we got, once again, AEW Dark and Impact Wrestling. So we will review and discuss all of that, but also I got some news updates for all of you. So let's get started with another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that it's pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, matches, wrestlers, and championships. I'm your host here, J Rod. So let's get started with AEW Dark. First match, we have members of the Nightmare family, Shoddy, Lee Johnson, and Aaron Solo, along with the Enforcer and also their coach, Arn Anderson, taking on uh, Louis Valley and Chris Speaks. Now, this is the first time these two are teamed up as members of the Nightmare Factory, even though they teamed up before. But now this match kind of proves, okay, we got these new guys, Aaron Solo, who's been well known, Lee Johnson, who has been one of those competitors that was in and out every time when people needed extras for wrestling matches, but they really impressed me a lot, and they took out the win thanks to Lee Johnson with his finisher move that he normally conducts. Next match, we have a women's tag team match. We have Ivelisse and Diamante taking on Kylan King and Red Velvet. Now, don't forget, on Wednesday, we got Red Velvet teaming with Cody to take on Shaquille O'Neal and Jade Cargill. And this kind of shows Red Velvet. She's not playing around. She's trying to tell Jade this is not basketball. This is wrestling. So basically, she's sending a message. But the match was very good. This one, it's one of the few that I did like because you do got Ivelisse and Diamante, two of the winners of the women's tag team tournament. And of course, you got Red Velvet, who has a axe to grind with Jade. But it was a good wrestling, but it did showed they're not playing around. That she's not playing around. But it did allow for Red Velvet and Kylan King to pick up the victory. Next match we have Top Flight Dante and Darius Martin taking on Fuego del Sol and John Cruz, aka Serpentico. So anyway, uh, I kind of figured it was Top Flight's gonna win this one, but there are some fast spots like that we seen in the past in the Independence, but it was pretty good because it just showed okay these guys can hang with the fast spots in any way possible. So, but it did allow for Top Flight to win the match as always. Next match we have the Gun Club, Austin, Colton, and Billy taking on Tony Vega, Aaron Fryer, and Angel Fashion. I'll tell you the winners on this one. Once again, the Gun Club. It's always the Gun Club. Then we got an interesting women's match. We have Renee Michelle now in the scary clutches of Abaddon. Yeah, she's the last person I think she would want to be, but however, her fear with Abaddon kind of took a toll on her, so she lost the match like any other person would. Next match, oh my god, this one was good. JD Drake taking on Stu Grayson, hands down one of the best matches. I mean, I didn't expect this, but I hope AEW does give JD Drake a chance to be part of the roster. I mean, what hard hitting dude, and even Stu Grayson. Wow, both this match was great, but however, it was Stu Grayson who won the victory on this one. Excuse me. Next match, we got Bear Country taking on Mbadu and Black Baron. Another good match. I did like. I'm a big fan of Bear Country now. They're one of the most interesting tag teams I've been watching, and I hope AEW signs them. But they did win their match with that interesting finisher where I think Bronson was on top of Boulder and he drops him down and picks up the pin. But however, the post match ended with Butcher and Blade attacking them. You probably ask, why would they do that? If you guys recall what happened at the lumberjack match between Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston, Bear Country kind of got in the way of that. So that kind of fits into the whole thing with them, and it made a lot more sense with it. So, um, let's see. Then we got Dark Order members Evil Uno, um, Alan Five Angel, and of course Cole Cabana taking on Levi Shapiro, John Skyer, and Ryzen. But it was also another good match on the part of what's his name? Um, who was of I think it was Evil Uno who picked up the victory. Yeah, Evil Uno who picked up the victory. It was a great match as well. Even we're seeing now the Dark Order being more and more exposure. That's one of the things we can like about. Then we got one half of the Acclaim, Max Caster, along with Anthony Bowen taking on JJ Garrett, and of course, once again, Max Caster took the victory on this one, all thanks to Anthony Bowen giving him a helping hand. Next match, we got Sean Dean and Carly Bravo. I don't know. Hopefully, these guys have a good name they should develop. Um, Taking on the TH2 or the Hybrid Dude. I'll tell you anyway, the Hybrid 2 won as always. That's always been one of the things that I have noticed with them winning their matches. Next match, we have a very funny one Orange Cassidy versus Steven Stenson. Orange Cassidy took his cowboy hat and it led to a little funny stint between them, but hands down, really funny. But however, Orange Cassidy won with the Superman punch as always. And then we got his best friend, Chuck Taylor, in the next match against VSK. Same result, Chuck Taylor won the match. Then we got 10 of the Dark Order taking on another guy, that Daniel Joseph. He won the match, but however, -1 was in fact in commentary disrespecting what's his name, Excalibur. But I thought it was funny. But it was a really good segment. And then the main event, we got Matt and Matt and Mike Seidel taking on SCU's what's their name? Oh yeah, SCU's Chris Daniels and Kazarian. Another good match too, and but it was really good. I did like it, but it did ended with SCU winning the match. So I think that's it right now with AEW Dark. So let's continue on with Impact Wrestling. Okay, so we got Impact Wrestling. It starts out with the number one contendership in a triple threat match between um, Black Taurus, Ace Austin, and Chris Bay. Now, keep in mind, they were part of a six-man tag team match against Trey Miguel, Willie Mack, and Josh Alexander. Now, whoever won that match, the winners will be in a three-way, and that match was, in fact, Black Taurus, Chris Bay, and Ace Austin. Now, this is for the number one contendership of the X Division Championship. Now, Ace Austin believes that it's inevitable that he's going to regain and become a two-time X Division champion. Now, there were people probably would have thought, okay, Chris Bay could have won it. Me, I kind of got the Black Taurus, but however, it was Ace Austin who won with the help of Madman Fulton. So he becomes the number one contender to face TJP for the X Division Championship. Now, there was a recent interview that came out after that with Jazz and Jordan, who are the number one contenders for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Apparently, they have a helping to face with Deonna Purrazzo, who believed to be responsible for attacking OBD at the ODB in the backstage, but however, someone decided to get involved in the conversation. I'm talking about Fire and Flavor. They were fully aware that they decided that they're going to face the that Jordan's going to face Diana, but however, she put herself in the conversation, and that kind of messed things up. Later on, Diana Perrazzo admits she was responsible for ODB's attack, and the plans were changed because someone decided to weasel their way in, trying to get the attention, believes that she's a main eventer, that whole thing. So that kind of fits into the whole parameter. Now, we'll get to that match in a bit. Then we had a little bump in the road between Brian Myers and Matt Cardona. Now, Matt Cardona told him everything will be in the middle, but Brian Myers wants him to take his side. But the problem is this: Brian Brian Myers has considered himself the professional wrestler, but Matt Cardona will not tolerate try to give one helping hand. But he made it perfectly clear down the middle, because if he doesn't, it's unprofessional. Now, this next match, we had Tennille Dashwood along with Caleb with the K taking on Havoc. Now, keep in mind, Havoc and Nevaeh have been in odds. They've been pursuing the tag team titles for a while, unsuccessful. And then a week ago, Nevaeh took on Tennille, and she got in her Tennille, but no luck. Then Havoc stepped up. Well, 2 weeks ago actually, and then Tennille tried to butt in, saying that she doesn't need her, and then all of a sudden this match was set. Now the match could have gone Havoc's way, but Caleb decided to get in the way, and he tried to mock Havoc, but Nevaeh beat him up and all this. So basically, it seems that Nevaeh and Havoc are good for now, but we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks. Now, recent development came in with Sami Callihan. Callihan has been trying to prove a point about Trey Miguel, saying that he's a quitter, that he quit and he came back. Now, keep in mind, Trey has some unfinished business, but he's trying to prove that all of a sudden Trey just came back, he just quit. It wasn't that he quit, they were no longer part of the roster. He has no passion for the business, so he decides to get into his head and mess up. He even got into the training academy where Trey actually trained at. He beat up the students, he even beat up the instructor, and then he got in the mind into one of the students. So basically, it kind of went in that direction. I don't know what Trey will do now that now that this happened, but we'll see what goes on. Now we jump into the Swingers Palace. As you know, there's been a lot of funny moments in there. TJP was there making bets. Basically, he was disrupted by Ace Austin. He knew what Ace Austin was going to say to him, so he made bets with. But however, it appears that Chris Bay is not too pleased with the loss. So basically, he wants a piece of Ace Austin. He said that you can win without Madman Fulton. So basically, another bet was placed, and of course, more bets won by TJP. Now, if you called last week, Diener failed into destroying his own cousin, Jake something, and he has to face the consequences, and those consequences were of him getting himself beat up. So, ouch. Then we got another advertisement from AEW. As you know, we got this Wednesday the finals for the AEW Women's Eliminator, and more things are about to happen. I forgot what it was, Then we had a little video package from Moose talking about he felt disrespected that no one looked at him as a TNA World Champion because no one cared because that title was not even active. And he said his issue wasn't towards that he was towards Rich Swann. He said that his issues were that he deserves to be the Impact World Champion and that he deserves to call himself the real World Champion. But I said this before. I have a feeling that he's going to get into a very heated battle with Kenny because Don Callis will not tolerate someone like him calling himself the real World Champion. So, Don Callis, I have a feeling we're going to jump in there, but we're not there yet. If it does, I'll be like, I told you so. Now we got a little interesting 8-man match. We got the Good Brothers teaming up with Finjuice taking on Triple XL and Reno Scum. Of course, the issue is can Triple XL and Finjuice can get along? That is the good question. But however, things didn't go exactly like Finjuice would hope. But even though they won, but there were certain things that did not go according to plan. But we did jump into Rick Swann talking about Moose, how he has been talking about him, but the problem is he knows he's obsessed about being the real world champ, but he has to get to him. He feels that that spotlight was taken from him, that Rich Swann didn't deserve it. But Rich can see what he's doing. So we'll see what happens in Sacrifice. And of course, we did jump into the Good Brothers and Finjuice. Apparently, they just added a match for themselves. This coming Sacrifice pay per view on March 13th, it's going to be the Good Brothers taking on Finjuice for the Impact World titles. I think maybe that was a clever move by Finjuice. I think they were trying to weasel their way into the title hunt. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but you'll see what I mean. Now we get to the interesting match. We have Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards with special ref Matt Cardona. He called it down the middle, like he said. But however, the match ended in no DQ because Matt Cardona noticed that he posted on his armbar like he was trying to whack them out. He didn't think he was going to. But the problem is this. Brian Myers always proclaimed that he always gets away with it. Like cheating, saying that he low blowed the person, saying all this. He was trying to prove a point that, but you're not the most professional. You keep cheating your way through by kicking in the groin or low blowing to the groin, that sort of thing. But now he thought that, oh, Matt Cardona is going to take his side. It doesn't work that way. Everything has to be cut in the middle. But he didn't see it that way. Now, let's jump into the main event between Deonna Purrazzo, Kiera Hogan, and Jordynne Grace. Now, the match was always in an interesting. They first Kiera and Jordynne took out Deonna Purrazzo, and then later Purrazzo and Kiera took out Jordynne. Basically, they're trying to find out who's the bigger threat. Now, the match kind of got into the way for Jordynne Grace, but it didn't go exactly. Deonna Purrazzo took the victory and made the win. But however, now we saw Jordynne and Jazz go after the Knockouts champ because Jordynne had Kiera right where she wanted her, but apparently Tasha Steelz moved her out. So basically, he moved it. Now, Deonna Purrazzo celebrated that she won, but however, ODB came out, and now it's been official. She will face her in Sacrifice for the Knockouts title. This is going to be interesting. So I think that's it now. Let's move on to the news updates. Okay, guys, here's some news updates I want to post out. Recently, there's been talk with Tony Khan where it revealed that he is very interesting in signing Selena Vega, but however, she hasn't spoken to her yet. Now, I don't know how much of her 90-day no compete clause is still going up, but I feel maybe this is the right move for Tony Khan because we all know what happened to Zelina Vega. We thought it's for us fans, we feel it's a load of crap that what Vince was doing, trying to tell all their talent they have to turn over their passwords and all that because they're trying to control them from not uh, getting another financial income from third party platforms. And Zelina Vega stood ground for that. And of course, they're saying that she violated her terms of agreement because of the OnlyFans. But who cares? And Tony Khan is not like that. He said that everybody is welcome with their Twitch account and all this other stuff. But he said that he really would like to have an interest with her. And this could be a great opportunity for AEW. And too bad for WWE. They never gave her the push that she needed because we know she had a title hunt before, but we can see great things coming with Zelina Vega when that day comes. Now, the next news comes in. NWA are returning. They're having a scheduled pay per view this March on March 21st called Back to the Attack. Now, it's still unclear how this is going to go. As you know, a lot of the wrestlers that they had were released from their contracts, like Marty Bell, Allison Kay, Ricky Starks, Zicky Dice, all those guys. And of course, this recent loss of Joseph Hudson, better known as Joseph is, and the question mark. I do know that Thunder Rosa does have a will be continuing to wrestle with NWA throughout 2021. But I'm excited for that. It will be on Fight TV, so I heard that it's going to be like $20 to order the pay per view. Hopefully, I get to see it, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there. So, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, interesting news. It appears that the Wednesday Night War could be coming to an end in April after WrestleMania. It's already been told that for a while NXT will be moving on Tuesdays, and it will not affect Impact or AEW Dark whatsoever. Now, some of you WWE fans would say, why would they move it? Easy. Um, AEW cannot move to another day because they cannot compete with the sports that they throw in on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But there were other reports coming in from with uh, NBC that runs um, USA saying that they're no longer having their sports coming in, so they could mostly change that. But we have seen in the past that NXT can have better ratings if they're not head to head with AEW. Now, Vince has been trying to get AEW, trying to beat them out of the ratings war, but it did not work. Nothing set up. But I have to say this is going to be a good thing. So we can say AEW won the Wednesday, but however, we can say that for those like who are just straight up wrestling fans that love what the product of NXT is, so basically, I'm okay with the idea. I don't have a grudge with it. I think it's for the best. So I think that's it for now. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, DWZ channel. So I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah, and have a nice day. Bang!